In Minnesota, almost everything relates to the weather, no matter what you do. Hi, I'm Mike Fairborn, Weather Center 4. The Minnesota Weather Guide Calendar for 1990 is a great way to follow Minnesota's weather and its effect on nature. And in addition, the new Minnesota Weather Guide Engagement Calendar can help you plan around the weather. They're available at most supermarkets, gift shops, book and drug stores, or by mailing to this address. They make great gifts, and the profits benefit the Freshwater Foundation and the Science Museum of Minnesota.
Hi, I'm Roy Smalley. And I'm Don Shelby. Why don't you join us for one of the biggest fishing events in the country?
The Don Shelby U.S. Invitational Bass Tournament, sponsored by WCCO TV and Cajun Boats.
It's going to be held the weekend of September 30th and October 1st at the Minnetonka Boat Works in Wayzata.
Come watch some of the top anglers in the country compete for more than $100,000 in prizes.
And all the proceeds will go to help Roy's 1991 International Special Olympics Games.
Come on out for 2 days of family fun at the Don Shelby U.S. Invitational Bass Tournament.
I think that has a nice ring to it.
TV, yeah.
It's a lot of people, I think, are failing to realize plastic surgery. People do plastic surgery for a lot of different reasons. Some may not be because they're unhappy with them, but it's because people like the people in the audience who look at other people and are so judgmental like me. I'm extremely top-heavy, but I'm extremely content and extremely happy with it. So it may not be for me, but because of people like you constantly gawking and making rude comments to me, I've seriously considered having breast reduction. It may work for some women and they may be happier, but I am happy with me. This is me, and everybody...
You should live with it. You should live with it and be happy.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. You're my inspiration. My inspiration, Jolie. Thank you. Thank you.
Next on the 5 o'clock news, berries are growing wild in yards across the region. Many people are eating them and getting sick. We'll show you which ones are dangerous.
And we'll show you a home video taken by a Twin Cities man at the height of Hurricane Hugo, next on the 5 o'clock news.
Guests of the show fly American Airlines, the official airline of the Oprah Winfrey Show. Fly American to over 245 destinations worldwide. American Airlines, something special in the air.
Everybody knows that milk for babies, charming, farming, whatever they do. Everybody knows that milk for babies. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk for you. Soft baby skin, strong baby bones, a bright baby smile, and great muscle tone. Wouldn't you know it, baby? Milk for you. It's a health tip, baby.
If everybody had a new car across the USA, then everybody be saving the Chrysler Plymouth way. Everybody be saving, saving USA. All across the country, Plymouth, USA, each and every day. Saving money in the US. Everybody be saving, saving USA.
Hurry to your neighborhood Chrysler Plymouth dealer today. Tonight on WCCO Television, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
You're watching the news on Channel 4. It's 5 o'clock.
Good news this afternoon for some Brooklyn Park residents who were worried about possible lead poisoning in their neighborhood. The problem began when the city hired a contractor to refurbish the water tower. The original coat of paint on the tower contained some lead, and when workers sandblasted it off, lead paint dust drifted all across the neighborhood. Blood tests were ordered for students at a nearby elementary school, and today the results are in. They show no abnormal amounts of lead. The PCA is still conducting tests on the soil in the area. Those results should be back in just a few weeks.
4 days after Hurricane Hugo slammed into Charleston, South Carolina, electricity was restored today to 5 city hospitals there. Others are not so lucky. Most of the city remains without power, and officials say it may be weeks before it is restored. Officials of the National Hurricane Center who toured Charleston today say Hugo may go down as one of the worst storms ever to hit the U.S. mainland. The cleanup continues in other tropical islands hit hard by that hurricane. On the island of St. Croix, one resident who's a native of the Twin Cities took this home video as Hugo passed through. At the height of the hurricane, the man spent the night in a closet. He is okay, but his home was nearly destroyed. In Jacksonville, Florida, it has been raining nonstop. The downpour has left several dozen city blocks standing in up to 10 feet of water. 2 people were killed when their cars were swept away by water rushing through the streets. At least 100 people spent the night in shelters, but officials say there is no accurate count on how many more were forced from their homes.
Today, President George Bush said the United States will destroy more than 80% of its chemical weapons if the Soviets will reduce their arsenal to the same level. Mr. Bush made the offer during a speech to the United Nations General Assembly. And today at the state capitol, Minnesota lawmakers got their first look at the controversial property tax reform bill. Republicans and Democrats met this morning to hear some details on the plan, which lowers next year's expected tax hike from 15% to just 2%. Governor Perpich says he'll call lawmakers back to St. Paul on Wednesday to pass the bill. Republicans warned again today that they'll try to delay the special session until they can get a closer look at that package.
Today, a federal judge in Minneapolis ruled that battered women can still receive food stamps while they live at emergency shelters. The judge overturned a federal policy that cuts food stamps for women and children while they live in temporary shelters.
I have a hard enough time trying to make it with the little food stamps that you get. So if you were to have those taken away, I don't know what we'd do without them.
Kelly and her 2 children haven't needed their food stamps since they went to this St. Paul shelter. Today's lunch and all the food here is paid by the shelter and the state. But the families who eat a free lunch here say they need their food stamps for when they leave.
All the food and canned goods and stuff that I had in my old apartment, I don't have those anymore. So I'll be able now to take my kids and we can go to the grocery store and we can buy food and, we can even start all over because we're starting all over, from nothing.
I'm going to buy groceries once I get my own apartment. I got 4 kids, so now, that's helping me quite a bit.
Linda says she's saved most of the $229 a month food stamps she's received while she's been at the shelter. About 3/4 of the women here and many more at other shelters rely on food stamps. During the 8 months Minnesota enforced the federal policy, it's estimated that 1,600 women and children lost food stamps. Under today's ruling, the government must reimburse those families, and that could cost up to $80,000 in missed food stamps. Women's advocate Patricia Banks called the food stamp cuts ridiculous.
I'm not sure how people could have ever gotten out of shelter and started up housekeeping again if they weren't going to be able to feed the kids.
The state of Minnesota was forced to carry out the federal government's food stamp cuts, and today state officials say they are pleased that the judge ruled in favor of the women in the class action lawsuit. The U.S. Attorney's Office says the federal government is considering an appeal.
Now here are some headlines from around the state. Bemidji. The gate to the Potlatch Paper Company was blocked with logs this morning as about 50 people protested the use of non-union labor on an expansion project there. The logs were removed by the police. Austin. A former employee of the city's United Way today pleaded not guilty to charges she stole more than $8,000 from the agency. In the Twin Cities, Adolph Cruz Brewing Company of Colorado announced plans to buy Stroh's beer for $425 million. The deal includes the Stroh's Brewery in St. Paul. Now it's time to check in with Matt Balo.
Yes, it's been just a beautiful fall day out there today. I hope you both had a chance to enjoy some of it. In fact, we've got lots of sunshine out there, and we've had plenty of sunshine as well throughout most of the day, and we'll continue to do so the rest of tonight. The high clouds out there today gave us a high of 66. Right now it's mostly sunny and 62. It'll be clear and cool tonight, however, with a low of 35 and some scattered frost. As the growing season comes to an end, some of your lawn and shrubs may be turning brown, but it's not because they're going dormant. We'll tell you how you can save them coming up later on in this half hour. Colleen?
All right, thank you, Matt. NASA officials have launched their last unmanned rocket from Cape Canaveral, Florida. Just before 4 a.m. our time, the Atlas Centaur rocket blasted into space. Atlas carries a $125 million Navy communications satellite. And in the future, satellites will be launched from space shuttles.
Now some stories yet to come on today's 5 o'clock news. In just a moment, a medical report on a problem you may not know about that's in your own yard. Poisonings from wild berries are on the rise, apparently. Later, at about 1/4 after, Mark Rosen will be here with the aftermath of yesterday's surprising loss to the underdog Pittsburgh Steelers. Later at about 5:25, an environmental report on the new Hennepin County garbage burner. We're going to take a look inside the controversial new building.
This is the 5 o'clock news on Channel 4 with Don Shelby, Colleen Needle, and the rest of the Channel 4 news team.
Fabulous truck deals just got better. Your Heartland Chevrolet dealers deliver the savings. With higher cash back, up to $1,250 cash back, or 2.9 on Blazers, up to $1,000 cash back, or 2.9 on S10. Full-size buyers, $500 cash back, or automatic transmission, no charge. At your Heartland Chevrolet dealer. Chevy trucks with higher cash back will go fast. Case closed.
So, Jane finally did it. She must have dropped at least 2 dress sizes since joining Weight Watchers. That Mary? She must have lost more weight in a month than I did all year. How did she do it?
Weight Watchers helps you lose weight the smart way. Learn to lose weight fast and keep it off. Here's your last chance to join for only $8. So call Weight Watchers now.
If you're using direct mail instead of television to deliver your message, ask yourself, when was the last time you threw a TV commercial in the garbage? TV advertising. You're spending for impact. Why not get it?
Irma Bombeck. She's bringing incredible insights and even humor to stories of children fighting cancer. Meet her and the kids next time.
Tuesday at 8.